Good afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to another Nerd Nation podcast. And today we're talking about Star Wars and everything Old Republic, from video games to fan fiction to comic books to possibly new movies coming out through Disney and everything in between. We have a whole motley crew with us today. So let me introduce you to them. First of all, we have my usual partner in crime, Cousin Cheeto, and his Mrs. Cheeto. Say hello, guys. Unmute and say hello. No, he's not.
Okay. I'm working on shit here.
He's working on taking a shit here. No. All right. Hello, guys. Hello. We also have his next of kin, and that is Boogeyman 2132. I'll just call him Boogeyman today. Hello, Boogeyman.
How are you?
And I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing good, trying to make sure this audio is right.
Excellent, and what a fantastic job he's doing. And last but not least, we also have the crime of the century, Buck Crimes. Hello, mate.
Yay, I'm not last. Hey, what's up?
Hey. Okay, so we wanted to talk about some Star Wars, and we decided let's just talk about some Old Republic here. Now, this, in my opinion, is the best period in Star Wars. This is where Sith and Jedi are plentiful, all-out battles, all types of fucking shenanigans going on. You know, this was the period where where so much of the lore we have from Star Wars comes from. It comes from all of this. Darth Bane is Old Republic. Darth Revan is Old Republic. Old Republic has been mentioned in Star Wars before. Ben Kenobi mentioned it very briefly to Luke Skywalker in A New Hope. There's been some amazing animations from some of the video games in Old Republic, which is what I like the most, and which has got me the feel. I've read some of the books as well. Some of my favorite books are during that particular era. And there's just so many characters who are not fucking Skywalkers. Yes, everybody's got a lightsaber pretty much, but there's just so much going on here. There's a universe going on where it's bigger than the sole characters involved. There's so many fucking players, and everyone has a part to play. I had no idea that the Star Wars universe was so deep until I found out about the Old Republic. You know, I just initially thought when I first saw Star Wars that there may be only a few hundred years in the future when they first started flying and shit. Little did I know that the era of space travel goes back thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years. They've been flying all over the fucking universe for thousands and thousands and thousands of fucking years. It's been going on for so long that history books doesn't even know what the fucking universe was like or what worlds were like before space travel, because everything involves space travel. I think one of the first and earliest books in Star Wars is like 25,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. And even that is got space travel galore and all of that shit. So they've been going all over the galaxy forever. I personally would love to see more from this particular part of the world. It gets lost a little bit by the creators of Star Wars. They haven't ever delved into it when it comes to their movie making or television making. It's only in video games and some comic books. We haven't had any animation from it either, which is unfortunate. And this for me is like they're missing a trick. If they don't see how people have taken to the animations from the Old Republic video games, then they really are missing a trick, because there is something to be had there, and they're not taking advantage of it. When it comes to the creators of all of this shit, those animations is more Star Wars than than the prequels when the prequels fucking came out. Now I do apologize. I am yabbering along. I want to pass the torch on to other people to talk about the Old Republic. I'm going to go with you first of all, Buck Crimes. Regarding the Old Republic, when it comes to the Old Republic, what do you like about it? What do you know about it? take it
I
away.
like that the Old Republic is giving us a little more fleshed out Star Wars universe. The only thing is the Old Republic is so vast that you'd have a very hard time making just like movie after movie after movie on it. And the lore is so deep, especially with all the novelizations you have, that
Mhm.
yeah, it just takes us another good 25 years just to cover that section. Unless like you made a whole, you just basically spanned a fuck ton of the animated series or animation style stuff like that. It just basically made everything a cartoon for like the next 25 years. You really
Yeah.
couldn't have anything else because the universe is so vast.
Yeah. We kind of got the tail end of the Old Republic with the prequels, but now with the High Republic possibly coming out, that era might not necessarily be deemed as the Old Republic, even though it was mentioned as the Old Republic by Obi-Wan. But that's all semantics and shit. I just can't be asked with all that. You got
Well,
anything
the
more to
thing
say?
is
Yeah, go on.
also, the Old Republic, didn't it last like 20 centuries or something like that? I can't remember the exact number of years it is, but it's like 20 decades or something. I think Obi-Wan and A
Oh
New
man,
Hope.
it's the Old Republic. I mean, regarding as an era, it's definitely. I think, God, it's so hard to tell now. Now Disney's bought shit, but before Disney came along, it was at least 5,000 years. That period, that era. But
Yeah,
anyway,
exactly. And there's like all kinds of crises and stuff that could arise from that. I mean,
there's
for
so much
instance,
that's happened.
like for
Yeah,
instance, with the Galactic War, that lasted what 5 years at the most, until from the beginning of Star Wars, the Episode 3 to Episode 6. It was like what 3 years that they were fighting the intergalactic war or fighting the Civil War.
yeah, but that's a
Imagine
whole
how.
different. That's a whole different era. But the Old Republic itself, like there was a period where it was peaceful. That's when Darth Bane basically killed off all the Sith and started the rule of two and found himself an apprentice, being the last Sith, and then started the rule of two. And that's and 1,000 years before before Episode 1, there was no known Sith at the time, and that was a period of peace. But that was still Old Republic, all of that.
Cousin Cheeto, you want to add anything there? How about you, Boogeyman?
I'll wait
Boogeyman,
for
yeah. No, Boogeyman, I'll pass it on to you, mate. Sorry for yabbering. I do apologize.
So, Old Republic, if you're looking at it from a cinematic standpoint, before you even get into the story, there's Star Wars is one of those things that can be opened up in so many different ways. Somebody could write like a whole series worth of stuff based on a particular timeline, and as long as it fits the general premise of Star Wars, it'll fit. Good, bad,
Yeah.
in between, mediocre, doesn't matter. It's one of the great things of like the Star Wars universe, the Star Trek universe, and the other the other big genres that are out there in the space genre. We're only catching the tail end of the Old Republic going into the newer stuff that's come out. That's all we've seen. So if we've seen a microscopic point of what all this could eventually rise into, because if they go back in time, we can theory craft about it all this time, but there's limited books on it.
Yeah, with all that time, they could create whole sagas, and it doesn't have to be intertwined with any of the shit that happens afterwards. It could be its own. It could be its own saga and have no aftermath that matters to the overall storylines of the Skywalkers and shit. So, I always felt like after the Game of Thrones writers were supposed to join Star Wars. Sorry, and ended up joining Netflix, but they were supposed to join Disney and make a Star Wars series, apparently, and then people's imaginations were running wild. Obviously, Old Republic was being deemed as something that they were going to write about, and I'm not sure if you watched Game of Thrones, Boogeyman, but
Not a single episode.
Well, one of the great things about the show, there was no real central characters. There was a whole bunch of so many characters, and they all had. Some of them got killed off. Some of them got introduced in different seasons. Some of them came back after not seeing them for a couple of seasons, stuff like that. But there were so many just set figures that people loved and loathed, and I really can feel something like that could happen for Star Wars in the Old Republic era. Politics, scandal, all of that. It could. There's just something there, and if they can make it for adults as well, don't make it kiddie. When you're dealing with the Sith, you can't be fucking around and PGing that shit. These are ruthless people.
We need a Deadpool version of Star Wars.
For sure. I do feel I do mean that, but I do feel maybe obviously in its own particular capacity, but maybe there could be some sort of guy who's like some sort of gray Jedi who's a proper piss taker, but like some sort of anti-hero Jedi who anyway. I'm sorry, I'm fucking going on a tangent here. I do apologize. Is there anything else you'd like to say about the Republic?
So we're gonna do Star Wars Lower Decks then, right?
Oh, fair. Yeah.
I gotta get caught up on that so bad.
Oh, it's such a good show. Anyway, back on track.
Anything more to say, Boogeyman?
I mean, this is one of those things, that I think any of us could just start rambling on and just continue to go on about it. But I mean, as far as what I got to say, I mean, I guess we could put a hard point on it there, but
fair enough. Okay, so Bob, what interests you about the Old Republic?
Let me tell you about ages ago when I heard this story, and I just don't care.
In a galaxy far away.
Huh? In a galaxy far, far away. Yeah, I really don't care about the Old Republic that much. I think it's I mean, if they go to that time frame, it's good. I kind of want to see everything past the sequels, the sequel trilogy. I want them to kind of move past all that, and I want to see more of what the galaxy has to offer. I don't care about the Jedi Sith War. I don't care about this Old Republic. I mean, it's all it would all be is politics and Clone Wars. Like that's all that this era is. Like a version of the Clone Wars. It's just with the Sith. I mean, the games gave us a well enough look into it for me to now. If they want to go kind of weird, like off track with it and do like a Mandalorian type show in that era, I guess. But honest and truly, I'm not interested in the Old Republic. I'm not interested in the High Republic. I'm interested in moving forward from the Skywalker saga and getting that crap as far behind us as possible. Because I mean, I'm tired of Jedis. I'm tired of all that. I don't want more Jedis. I don't want. I mean, the space magic just needs to go with the laser swords. I'm not into it. One of the weakest parts of Star Wars for me is Jedis and Sith, and I know that's what everybody loves, but yet everybody complains about it. I want different. I don't want Jedis. I don't want Sith. I don't want Jar Jar Binks. I want bounty hunters, and give me a space trek per se of just them going around the galaxy and exploring some of these worlds that we've never even seen except in extended material. Dantooine, that's a planet that I've always heard about that I have never ever even seen except in a video game, maybe if I remember correctly. Mon Calamari, there's another planet that always pops up in lore, but I mean you never see it.
Clone Wars. Okay,
in Clone Wars. Okay, but I don't watch all of Clone Wars. But I'm saying like live action versions. You know what I mean? Like it's, I don't hate Star Wars, but the primal focus on the Jedis and the Sith just is so overdone and so dumb. That's why I liked Rogue One. That's why I like Solo. That's why I could have left all of the Skywalker trilogy on the table and taken these other things, because truth be told, Jedis are just not, they don't interest me. All they are is a bunch of wannabe hermits that want to die and become glow sticks. And I mean, they expedite that, process pretty quickly. I mean, Star Wars fans are never happy. Star Wars is something that always lets people down, and I try to take it for what it is, and then I get chastised. So it's like, I don't even bother telling people my opinions on The Last Jedi and stuff like that.
I get that.
So,
But I
you know what I
said? Like, Star Wars is this thing that just like it is this. It's like this black hole of nerddom that just like sucks everything in and just warps it, and then wherever it comes out in the galaxy or in another dimension, like we don't know. I mean,
Well,
Daisy Ridley.
Sorry, go ahead.
Daisy Ridley. She was doing. She had a hard time finding work after The Last Jedi or Rise of Skywalker, one of the two.
Rise of Skywalker, she still
Yeah,
does.
right.
And it's like what? Why? She was acting fine in that movie. Why are you having a hard time finding work because of a studio's inability to give you a good product? I don't understand Star Wars sometimes, and sometimes I like Star Wars, but there's just parts of Star Wars that I'm done with for a long time. The only time I've ever liked a Jedi story is the Force Unleashed games. I like those two games. I mean, even Knights of the Old Republic is just kind of like meh, like story wise.
I have a question, Cousin Cheeto. What is your opinion on Shadows of the Empire?
Oh, I love Shadows of the Empire. Wait, are you talking the books or are you talking the game?
Either.
I have not read the books. I know of the books. I've never read the books.
The book is good.
The game was with Dash Rendar, right?
Yes, it was. He was kind of like
Han Solo.
He tried to pawn himself as Han Solo, but yeah, he wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah,
I liked that game. And as I said, I don't mind Jedis being in things. I just hate them being the primary focus. I always thought a great movie, like a great spin-off movie, would have been a Dash Rendar meets Starkiller from the Force Unleashed movie, where like Dash Rendar is much older, and then you have this young clone Jedi. Whatever happened to him in those games. I know he died once and was brought back as a clone or so. I don't know. But whatever. But I mean, even if that's not even canon anymore. But I always thought that would, instead of it being just a focal on the Jedi, maybe make the main character and like maybe co-main characters like Dash Rendar and Starkiller, as co-stars. I don't know. But I feel like that would be more interesting to me, because then you would have, it would honestly be kind of like Han Solo and Luke. Well, Han Solo and Obi-Wan more. Like, you have the one who is very, trained in the Force and knows the Force. And then you got this other guy that's like, I don't know. I don't know about all this mystic scoundrel. Yeah, like the scoundrel. And but I that's the show. Like, as I said, I don't mind Jedis being in things. I just hate them being the focal point. I'm done with Jedis. Go ahead. So
you like The Mandalorian, correct?
Yeah.
Have you heard about the series that just got the green light from Disney?
The
Cassian Andor. Yeah,
that's been greenlit for a while. It's going to start shooting in November. I like the premise of that show. I don't like the fact that they're bringing Cassian back because he died in Rogue One. Spoiler alert. I feel like that cheapens his death.
It's not supposed to be an after. It's supposed to be a before.
It's a prequel.
Exactly. It's a prequel.
Yeah.
No.
So what's wrong with that? If they're going to go into like the life that the things that they hinted to in like Rogue One, for instance, the stuff that they hinted to, it's going to go into in the detail, like what happened prior to him joining like the Rebels and what.
I feel like if it
not him, it doesn't need to be him. It could be, they could do a show like that about somebody else.
Yeah, that I 100% agree. I don't mind the premise of the show. I just mind the main character. I don't even care if you make the same nationality. I mean, they made a big deal out of him being isn't he Latino? The first like Latino Star Wars main character. It's like, okay.
That had nothing. My personal feelings towards it has nothing to do with it. It's just, I think, it says, you say it cheapens his death, but at the same time, I'm thinking, is there a chance it could cheapen his death? Yes, of course, because the writing could be bad. They could screw it up, blah, 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 blah. But if they do it right, it could also strengthen.
but you know where he's heading. You know, like that
Yeah.
character specifically, you know where he's heading. He's heading
Yeah.
towards that end of the line, like Rogue One moment. How many seasons are we going to get? Doesn't matter. Even, I mean, okay, if they wanted to make this a limited series, like they say, look, we're doing one season of this. This is what leads up. I still think that cheapens it a little bit, but it's not as bad. But it's like, I feel like that, you know, honestly, it's the whole Black Widow situation. Black Widow the movie. Although I love Marvel, I really think that we should have gotten this movie years ago, before Infinity War at the very least. And now she's dead, and now we have a Black Widow movie, and it's like, well, that cheapens her death in that movie, in my opinion, because it's like, well, I'm going to see her again. You might as well, at the end of an Endgame, put Black Widow will return, you know, because
I get that.
But so by that theory that you're saying, like, Rogue One, the movie, cheapens the rest of the movies?
No, this show cheapens the death of Cassian Andor in Rogue One, because we're going to, you know, he's going to be there. Back door.
So, yeah, I mean, like, when it comes to, like, them having some creative ideas of what they're going to be making, this was the last thing I wanted. You know, like, this is not appealing at all when it comes to Star Wars content. I can't believe they're still going with this. You know, it's just. I mean, how does a show like this about Cassian Andor? How does this get your juices flowing?
Oh,
Yeah,
because they're throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, hopefully.
Well, see, for me though, I'm
He's
kind of intrigued by
He's a one and done. He's a one and done character, man.
As I said, I like the premise of the show. I don't like the main character. I want there to be a character that we have no idea. I mean, where they're heading. Even if it was like, okay, Cassian is going to be in season 1, but then, you know, that this will lead up to the events of Rogue One, and then season 2 then will take over with a different character. I don't know, like, but the same. I don't even know how to triage this, because it just, and we're way off topic here, by the way, but still, like, I don't know. I just, in my opinion, it cheapens his death in Rogue One. It cheapens the movie Rogue One, in my opinion. And it's just not something, and Zam's right, it's just not that interesting. I like the premise of following a rebel special agent and showing the darker side of the rebellion. I'm interested in that. I really want that. But I don't want it to be Cassian Andor.
Yeah, I want a new character. A new character where we don't know where he's heading. It could be similar.
Make it Cassian's brother, for crying out loud. I don't know.
Something of that nature, or maybe even possibly maybe a clone of him or something. I don't know.
Oh God, no clones.
No, why? Fuck all. Everyone's got to be connected. Just a brand new guy. Yeah, somebody of a similar vein. You know, maybe somebody who's morally challenged as well. All of these sort of things, just make it interesting. But this is not what I want. I'll possibly want to take a stab at it. Maybe it'll look visually pretty cool. You know, him having to do like odd jobs and shit like that around space, trying to fuck over the Empire in little ways. Who knows? But we'll just see how it goes. I have a bad feeling about this show. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I think this is such the wrong route to go down, and there's no fanfare for this. People are not gagging for this. This is the last thing people want. No one's excited about this. But anyway, we're way off subject here. I guess there's only so much we could talk about the Old Republic when not enough content has come out regarding the Old Republic. Going back to the Old Republic, then there are certain characters that have remained still in the lore, who are still canon to a degree. Bane and Revan being two of them. I'm not sure how much you guys know about these characters, but let's say with Darth Revan,
I know a little bit about him.
Well, with Darth Revan, that guy's had more fucking face and heel turns than the Big Show. That guy's been a fucking...
That's quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, like he starts off as a fucking Jedi, then turns to the dark side, then turns back to the light side. He does end up being some sort of grey Jedi at the end, but he's more light than obviously dark. because he switched so many fucking times. You know, like I say, he's a very unusual character, but he did leave a Sith holocron, which would be found by Darth Bane a few thousand years later, and he would learn of the original origins of the Sith, because with the Sith, they're not supposed to be this fucking unified group. They're supposed to be people who would stab you in the back in a heartbeat. You know, you're not supposed to trust one another.
A lot of infighting, and then then the
Now,
rule
Darth
of
Bane,
two got established.
yeah. Now, Darth Bane kind of understood all of this. He kind of came up to the conclusion of this, realizing that, you know, in order for the Sith to be truly powerful, they couldn't be unified. They would be sharing the power. They would, there would have to be only one. But then he realized that he would need the knowledge to be passed on to another. So there should be two, a master and an apprentice. You know, one to have the power and one to crave it. And that was what happened when he ended up destroying, I can't really remember, some sort of fort bomb. I believe some sort of Sith mine bomb blew up all the fucking Sith, and Bane was the last man standing, and he ended up fucking finding some Sith apprentice on this planet who had who was force sensitive, and and then that's it. He's on his way now, and then the Rule of Two began, and he went all the way to fucking Plagueis and Sidious, who then thought, fuck this, we're no longer doing Rule of Two anymore. We're going to have fucking Darth Maul with us. Now we're a threesome. Have some Inquisitors and shit like that. You know, they bastardized, they fucking Rule of Two.
Oh, yeah, it's like they were just taking, they're just sitting in the writing room, just throwing whatever stuck.
Well, Darth Plagueis was obsessed. I read, by the way, the Darth Plagueis book, and he was obsessed with immortality. He didn't give a fuck about passing on. You know, he wanted to stay alive. You know, and he was doing his best to figure out ways of doing that. You know, he beat apparently funny enough, his master had a secret Sith apprentice, and Darth Plagueis beat this secret Sith apprentice and experimented on him to try to figure out ways of eternal life. Eventually, before Plagueis died, he hadn't slept for over almost like 5-6 years. He stayed awake. He never slept. And then Sidious got him drunk after Sidious became the new Supreme Chancellor at the end of episode 1. And Sidious got Plagueis drunk then. And then he fell asleep for the first time in a long time. And then he electrocuted him and killed him. If you guys
that's how he shocked him to death? He didn't like jab him with a lightsaber?
No. He got Plagueis drunk with their victory, and then he realized he didn't need him anymore and killed him.
Yeah, that's a very Palpatine thing to do, though.
So you have to understand that Plagueis was still alive right up till the very end of episode 1.
Okay, so it's a pity they didn't show that Plagueis died in episode 1, though.
You never see him, but in the book, he was alive up to just after and like I said, after he won after he became Chancellor, he killed him.
Oh, okay. I thought they killed his master like long before he became Chancellor.
Now, this is just some of the Old Republic lore I know. There's so much shit when it comes to the Old Republic. There was this one guy, I forgot his name. He was a Sith Lord, and his story was the closest thing to what would Darth Vader be like if his lover was still alive. And this story in the Old Republic kind of mirrors that. I forgot the name of that particular Sith, but he wears a respirator and shit like that, and his girlfriend's a Twi'lek. And at the end of that story, his girlfriend gets taken hostage, and he saves his girlfriend. But after saving his girlfriend, he kills her because he realizes that as long as she's in his life, she makes him weak. So he saves her, and then he fucking kills her. You know, and that's another story in the Old Republic I do know. But I apologize for yabbering on. I'm sorry for
Oh no,
boring
that's
you.
fine, man. You're not boring me at all. I don't know about you guys, but yeah, you're not boring me at all.
Boogeyman, Cousin Cheeto, you guys want to chime in?
I know nothing about like Raven and stuff. I was sitting here trying to read up on it a little bit, and I mean, his
Tell me more about this rescuing your girlfriend and then killing her.
You see, you know what, when you watch if you see some of the videos in the Old Republic animation videos, there's one Jedi who loses her lightsaber and she blocks the lightsaber from that guy with her own hand. That was the Sith Lord who has the Twi'lek girlfriend. He also kills the Jedi Knight, the Jedi Master, when the Sith crashed their spaceship into the fucking Jedi Temple.
Oh,
And
you're
all
talking
the-
about like the cutscenes from the video game.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's also part of the stories, and that's and some of that particular Sith Lord who kills the Jedi Master. He's the one with the Twi'lek girlfriend, and she gets kidnapped. Like I said, eventually, and then when he rescues her, he then kills her because he can't have a weakness, which is fucked. You know, Sith are fucked like that, man. They're so fucked. There's
they're
one
very
Darth, there's one Darth Revan story where Darth Revan is now finally full on light side. He's changed many times, and he gets there's this one Jedi Knight with him, and they team up with a fucking Sith to take down this one Sith Lord who is so fucking dangerous that he could destroy the universe or whatever with his power. And so this particular Sith who teams up with a Jedi, he kind of sees the bigger picture, which is why he teams up with them. But at the very end, he fucking kills one of the Jedis. He has a change of heart at the very end, and he kills one of the fucking Jedis. And he doesn't kill Revan. He takes him down. He puts him out of commission, so to speak. And he then joins the fucking Sith Lord he was initially thought he was going to kill. He ends up joining him. It was fucked, you know. And that was another story. I'm sorry. I apologize. You know, these are some. I'm only getting snippets of what I can remember. That's the fucking Old Republic, man. There's some really interesting stories and really interesting battles, and there's good versus evil in space. It's pretty epic when it can be. And these are from stuff I got from books and animations and threads and Wikipedia and stuff. But I just love that era so much. It's just so much detail there, and there's so much stuff which can fill in, you know, a whole millennia, you know, of era they can just create because it's just there for the taking. You know, Disney need to be on it. They just always focus on the wrong fucking things. I agree with you, Bob. Who gives a fuck about the High Republic? You know what I mean? That's not the right high I'm thinking of right now. You know, that's not the Republic I want. I want Old Republic for you to do anything. And I know you mentioned post Rise of Skywalker, but I honestly think for a while, at least, you're not going to get anything there because you have to create new fucking shit. And creating new shit is hard when there's so much shit already established. So I feel they're going to try and fill in the holes and fill in the gaps to make the overarching stories for certain things. So I do feel like between episodes 6 and 7, more shit's going to be filled there, for instance. And obviously they're always going to do shit between episodes 3 and 4. So that's what I feel they're going to do more, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to go beyond Rise of Skywalker for a while. If they ever do, there's just nothing to explore after that. You know, they can always do different adventures at different periods. You know, it doesn't have to be post Rise of Skywalker, but it could be during times where you need obvious enemies, and things like the fucking Empire are always a good obvious enemy. Things like the Sith are always a good obvious enemy. Things like the Mandalorians are always a good obvious enemy. You know, so
honestly, I want a Poe Dameron movie. I don't want
that. I don't want that. I don't want any of that.
Hotshot fighter pilot of the Republic? You don't want that? I'm not talking about Ray. I'm not talking about even Finn, although he'd probably be in it. Like, just something that's not.
When would it be set? When would it be set? After Rise of Skywalker?
Yes, post Rise of Skywalker, Poe Dameron, leader.
I got it. It'll be that period in Episode 1 where you don't see him after he crashes on fucking fucking sand planet. They crash. They you remember him and Finn and Poe Dameron escape on that TIE fighter.
You're talking about in the desert?
And then they crash on the desert, and then Poe disappears until near the end of the movie. That period should be his movie.
Well, no.
Fill in the gaps. That's what I'm saying. Fill in the fucking gaps. What's your missus have to say?
Well, she's watching a video, and I didn't think everybody wanted to hear that. So,
what's she watching? QVC.
QVC. I don't know. What are you watching?
It's thing with Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, it's more Chadwick Boseman stuff.
Well, fair enough.
Also,
okay,
hi, Mr. Tito. How are you?
Huh?
I don't think she heard you.
Cousin Tito, how are you?
Megan, he's talking to you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi.
I was just saying hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay.
Great.
I haven't died recently again, so there's that.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Anyway, Poe Dameron. I want the movie. I don't make it like a Skywalker thing. Don't make it a Jedi thing. I want a story following Poe Dameron building his own like elite squadron again after Rise of Skywalker. Put some stuff in there post Palpatine's death, like how they finally feel like they've eliminated it, and maybe mopping up some of the First Order that was left over after that whole thing. Don't call it Episode 10, just make it a Poe Dameron movie, mopping up the Empire. That's what I'd call it.
One thing I wouldn't mind seeing on the Poe Dameron front is, like, say, possibly a little bit about the Dark Sun Shadow or Dark Sun Syndicate they had in Shadows of the Empire. Maybe a little bit more about that. Have something with Dash Render in it, maybe.
Hey.
Well, all of these are possibilities, but Disney and this Cassian Andor thing. I can't believe they're doing this. Jesus Christ!
So is this a Cassian Andor? Is this a Cassian Andor stream, or is it Old Republic stream?
Old Republic, but I'm running out of things to say.
Real quick. So I think the one, because it's he wants the Poe. I'm intrigued by the Cassian. You hate it, Zan. I think one thing that we can all agree on is I think we just need to move to a completely different timeline in the Star Wars thing and start with a whole fresh, perspective on the universe or the galaxy.
Maybe from a bad guy, like maybe about fucking follow the Empire for a bit. Follow villains instead of good guys. Have the good guys as secondary characters. It's all about the Empire.
No, get completely away from the Empire and everything else. Completely either move way back in time or forward in time. And get completely away from it. And yeah, it could come down to stuff where we're following the bad guys of that time or
back in time.
It's very difficult because Star Wars itself is kind of split into certain things. Like you got Jedis and Sith, you got Empires, you got Rebels, and you got smugglers and maybe gangsters. And there's not much more when it comes to characters. Like you got farmers, but who wants to see a show about that? Moisture farmers. So
yeah, but you're still thinking what's been currently released. What could have been back to close to the creation of the Old Republic? What could have been before that? What could have been, during a much earlier timeline, much earlier in the timeline, following that kind of stuff. Because I mean, it's not just the Jedi. You know, this is where it opens it up to where you can get away from the Jedi and the Sith.
Coruscant
Or
was created. It was like initially it was like the early Mandalorians. They fought over it. It was actually a planet which actually had oceans on it, which you wouldn't find now because it's just totally covered from head to toe. It's also the center of the galaxy. It's also one reason why it's also chosen is because it's in the center of the galaxy as well. Apparently, whatever that means, whatever the center can be, but that's where it is. It's like there's, you know, if coordinates were written down for an area, that would be 0.00000 whatever, you know, right bang in the middle. That's why it was chosen as well. 1313 does exist. It's been seen in Clone Wars, so that's now no longer fiction. It's canon. Legends is canon. I mean, so sorry for interrupting. You got any more to say, mate?
I just think if the one thing we could probably all agree on is like, you know, moving away from what's been released, you're getting away from the Jedi, getting away from the Sith, all that in general, and you know, maybe somebody someday will be able to write something that's still Star Wars based, but in a different, you know, perspective from, you know, smugglers or, you know, back at the creation of the Old Republic and stuff like that. Like what the events that came up to the just in general.
Like I would like to see some things on Star Wars grifters. Have you ever read the Scoundrels book?
No.
It was set just before New Hope, and like Lando, Chewbacca, Han, and a few other characters. They do a big sort of heist. It's a bit like Ocean's 11 in space.
I've heard this.
Yeah, and you know, like, you know, they could do something like that with like Star Wars space grifters. That's what I'm basically saying. You know, they can do that where these people are doing massive con jobs on all these fucking, you know, criminal syndicates and stuff like that.
With the Solo movie?
I guess actually, it feels a bit like that. But you know, it look like, I mean, like, I'll give an example. Like, you could have a series where this person grifts like this big gangster in space, and then he's on the run and he's going all over the fucking place. He's here, there, and everywhere.
Like the Hutt Syndicate or something like that?
Something like that. And he might join the Empire for a bit just to fucking hide, and he's on the run somewhere else. There's no... This person... See, this problem with some shows, they give characters arcs when they don't need them. I wouldn't want this person to learn that how he's a better person, and I wouldn't want that. I still want him to be an arsehole thinking for himself the whole fucking time. You know what I mean? And he's just trying to stay alive because he just conned these fuckers and they want to kill him, and he don't give a fuck about trying to be a better person. He just wants to stay alive. You know, he's not trying to... And I would love that. You know, something like that would be great. You know, that would be pretty cool. No?
I get that.
It's different, I guess, and it involves different characters and stuff. And like the person you're following is pretty much a bad guy being chased by worse guys. You know, so...
Well, the thing is also, as far as character goes, what would his growth be, really?
That's what I'm saying. No arc. Yeah, that's the problem with certain films. Everyone needs a fucking arc. Yeah, no arc. He just is just trying to survive. His whole life has been like, you know, like he would have had these moments of growth earlier in his years. Surely, why does he need particular moments in which is set up in a movie for him to fucking finally get development? You know, fuck all that. This guy's been working for himself from day one, and that's how it should be. He meets different people along the way, but it should be like Littlest Hobo. It should be all about him, and everyone else is secondary. No, you like that? Does that sound good?
It depends on how the show is written.
Like I said, this guy's always... It's like the fugitive. He's always on the fucking run. You do the first couple of episodes of him doing the grift, and then boom, he's on the run.
I think that sounds like a better video game.
He might end up having to take these people on and shit because he gets fed up of running or whatever, and he kills a few or whatever. But I don't know, just a couple of seasons of that would be pretty interesting, seeing something different in Star Wars. Because, you know, like, people in the Star Wars universe, people could be right assholes. We've got slavery in the Star Wars universe, for fuck's sake.
Yep. It's. I mean, I can see that. There's a lot of places and stuff. Like for instance, Hut Homeworld, you can have him doing stuff on there, pissing off the cartels.
Hutta.
Yeah, Hutta. You can have him doing all stuff like that, but it kind of sounds a bit video gamey to me. I guess that's just me, though.
You know why the Huts, by the way, are so why these fucking blobs are so powerful, even though they're just fat blobs?
You do know that the Huts are actually super strong. And
yeah,
can just pound the fuck out of you, and they're fast.
Well, it's not just that, but they also if you shoot one, the lasers will bounce off them as well. They're impenetrable to laser fire, which is why
that I didn't know.
Yeah,
they're very strong.
They're very strong.
I mean, that makes sense why they're mobsters. I wish they would show some of that maybe in The Mandalorian. That'd be nice.
That would be cool too.
Which is why when it came to Jabba's death, it took Leia to strangle him to kill him. That's how you kill him. And
but Jabba didn't strike me as very fast either.
Yeah,
I don't think they had that figured out back when they first made the movie. I think that was like a retro thing that they.
Yeah,
the Huts are a threat. They're laser proof. Yeah, they're laser proof. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, all these things are retconned in. Yeah, but they
tend to shit themselves if you have a thermal detonator in your hand.
So there's more to them than meets the eye, which is what I like. So finding out more about them, but apparently Hutta is not their home world. It's a world they took over and they called Hutta, but they took over it for a long time. They do have their own original home world. I forgot what that is. That might be different now Disney's taken over. Like I said, everything changes on a dime. So anyway, I've got not more to say. We yabbed on for a while. Would anybody else have anything to add?
Nope.
I'm wanting my Shadows of the Empire movie, god damn it.
Like a remaster. No?
He's talking about the movies or the book.
About the movies.
Yeah. Fuck knows what's going to happen. I'm not too fussed, I can wait on Star Wars as long as they do it right. And that, unfortunately, is open to opinion because there's when it comes to the sequels, I personally think they're all shit. I have no love for the prequels either. I think they're shit, but I think they're better than the sequels. And I think the sequels are fucking terrible. They go nowhere. There was no structure for them. At least we knew where the fucking prequels were going.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, but no one knew where the sequels were going. There was no need for it. It was it felt like a reboot from the fucking get-go. Anyway, what do you want to say about Crimes?
I didn't like the late sequels that came out. All they did was just pretty much try to retread other things that had been retreaded before. But I did like angry, pissed off old man Luke. That was the only thing I really liked about those movies.
No, I wasn't.
Luke Skywalker's like, fuck this.
See, something this is what pisses me about Rian Johnson. He doesn't incorporate the fucking Knights of Ren, and he makes Luke the way he does, even though there's a map leading to Luke Skywalker. So this fucker doesn't want to be found, even though he left fucking coordinates for him to be found. It's fucking stupid, and Rian Johnson's a dickhead, and he should never touch Star Wars ever again, in my opinion.
Honestly, I wouldn't have had a.
Go on.
Okay, honestly, if Rian Johnson would have been given his own trilogy, I would have been interested to see it. Putting him in the middle of J.J. Abrams' 3-movie span, Abrams should have done all 3 movies.
Yeah.
I really feel like they should have just done that. And then Rian Johnson, they should have given him this completely other property and said, go nuts. And let him do his creative bullshit so he doesn't have any of the restrictions of the Skywalker saga. I think that would have been much better for him.
By the time
it seemed like the trilogy was very disjointed.
By the time he ended Last Jedi, didn't you realize that this character Finn has gone nowhere at all? There's no development for him. what is the next stage for Finn? He's just still in the same spot he was at the end of episode 7. It was just so stupid, you know. And that's a character that needed a fucking arc, and it kind of got forced in with him being force sensitive. Yeah, J.J. Abrams should have made it from the beginning. Disney are so fucking stupid, and Kathleen Kennedy is the root of all evil. And I want to see the director's cut. Those two guys who made 90% of fucking of the Solo movie. I want to see their version of Solo because I know it's out there. Well, they made 90% of the film and then run out, and then they did reshoots. So there is a version out there, in my opinion.
I mean, they should just start releasing these director cuts with the movie, like on the Blu-rays. Like, why not? Like, extended footage. Ugh, pay $5 more for the original version of Solo.
It all started off with obviously Blade Runner, but director's cuts is basically the vision of the director compared to the studio. Obviously with the Justice League coming out,
remember Daredevil, the 2002 Daredevil or 2003 Daredevil had a director's cut that made the movie much better than it was.
Yeah, there's a director's cut of Batman versus Superman, makes the film
far
more.
That added like.
Yeah, there's actually a whole new version of Superman 2, which is the Richard Donner cut, which is his version of Superman 2. If you want to watch that, and that's the closest thing, in my opinion, you're going to get to an alternative movie to a film which is pretty much should be the same film but isn't. And I think Justice League, the Snyder cut, is going to be like that. It's going to be a totally different film to the Whedon movie in tone, in look. I mean, you got 2 hours extra fucking footage, for fuck's sake. How is that film not going to be a different movie? It's going to be considerably
it's going to be a different movie. It's going to be darker, and it's going to be grittier, and it's going to be stupider. And I'm not excited for the Snyder cut.
I'm actually very excited because finally, even though Flash and Cyborg are not going to get their own movie, having a film
Flash
4 hours long. No, sorry, he is after this, but prior to the Justice League coming out, they didn't get their own film. Neither did Wonder Woman, but she was introduced in Batman versus Superman. So
Wonder Woman came out before Justice League.
Yeah, Wonder Woman did, because I remember going.
Yeah, sorry, I must have missaid what I wanted to say, but yeah, I agree. That's what I meant to say. What I'm trying to say is that Wonder Woman was first seen in Batman versus Superman. Yeah, so she already had a chance to introduce herself, and we only saw a glimpse of the other two, and as well as Aquaman. But they're going to get more story arc in this film because it's 4 hours long. So we're going to get more arc from Cyborg. So we're going to kind of get his own movie in that. We're going to get more arc from Flash. So we're going to kind of get his movie in that, if you know where I'm coming from.
Well, Cyborg is going to be the Incredible Hulk of DC, because I feel like Cyborg will never get his own movie, but I feel like they'll do his arc through like three different movies. Like if Cyborg has a predominant role in the Flash movie, so it's like his arc starts in Justice League, Snyder Cut, and then it continues in the Flash, and then his arc comes to a conclusion in like Justice League Part 2 if they ever do it. Like, it'll be interesting to see how they do that. But
anyway. Snyder said that he was the heart of the Justice League, but from my experience, the heart was always the Flash. He was like the most. I think it was because he was the youngest of the group, which is why. So he was almost like their kid brother. But anyway, I'm sorry if we're going on tangents here. Do you guys want to chime in on anything about Boogeyman Butt Crimes? I don't mean to hog the mic.
No, I'm good. Yeah.
No, I'm good. Actually, I've got to head out myself.
Yeah, I think we're
crash up myself too. Sorry.
We're on Tangent City here, so let's get off. Okay, well, it's been lovely talking to you guys, and we'll be doing this again next week. And if anything comes up during the week, we'll be talking about that too. Maybe we'll be going on to Star Trek or fuck knows what next week, but we'll let you know closer to the time. Don't forget to like and subscribe on this channel. Don't forget to share it out. We want to get more popular, and it's up to you to do that for us. So thank you very much for watching. Have a nice